Hey, welcome back to the garden. It's been a few weeks since we did the other video on how to plant the tomatoes. Now my wife has already told me to quit saying so much, so what we're going to do is give you an update on how our tomatoes are doing. Remember, see, I did it again. I can't help it. That's the way it is. Let me recap the way we planted these tomatoes. On this side over here, when we planted them, we put an egg in the hole. And on this side over here, we put sardines in the hole. And then we buried them. And like I said before, the Indians used to put fish in their gardens all the time. And so far, this has been great. You can see how healthy these plants are. And it's been 3 weeks. Now, the way I tie these up, I put this string in the hole when I plant the plant, and I tie them up to these wires up here. And you'll notice that these tomato plants, they kind of move like this when the wind blows. Well, what happens, that's nothing to be afraid of, because what happens when they blow like that, this stem gets stronger and stronger. It's just like a tree. When the wind blows and it rocks back and forth like that, this part of the stem becomes healthier and healthier. Look at this squirrel hole. You see the squirrel hole? Oh, look at that. I hate them. Now this is what happens when you plant a pepper plant in between all these tomatoes. These tomatoes are actually robbing the energy from this pepper plant. So this pepper plant's not going to do nothing. I'm just going to leave it there. And now as I look at these tomatoes, now you'll notice that nothing is hitting the ground. And if it does touch the ground, I just reach up and cut it off. And you're not going to hurt that tomato plant, because you want the airflow under here. And I suckered these plants from about here down. Now what you want, look at this other squirrel hole. You see that? There's nothing you can do about that. They're just looking for their nuts. They bury them. Now see how this is touching? I'll just cut that off. And this grass here, now let me show you how moist this dirt is under this grass. And we've been having 95-degree days. Now it's probably time to water these a little, but when we water them, where I'll water these at is I'll water them here or sometimes outside the bed, because what you want, tomatoes are not tropical plants. They don't need a constantly moistened soil. You need to let them dry. You need to let the soil dry out a bit so those roots will reach and grow towards the water, and that's going to give you a healthier plant. So don't make the mistake of watering up here. And don't water too often. Now the plants, you can see how well these plants are doing. See all these blooms right here? And you come to this side. Now, these tomato plants are setting fruit. When they start setting fruit, and these tomatoes get about the size of a golf ball, what I do, I give them a shot of fish emulsion, which is high in nitrogen, and you give that to them while they're setting fruit. And then after that, I quit pruning. After I prune this high, when the plant gets up here, like these, I quit pruning. And what'll happen, you see the wires I got going between these 3 fence posts? These tomato plants will just grow up. They'll lay over these wires. This will turn into a huge tomato bush. If the sun comes out of the west, and when it gets really hot, it just shines down on them tomatoes. And those tomatoes need sun. And so from here up, I don't prune anymore. I don't prune. I don't take the suckers out of there. I just let all that grow, because these plants need that shade. And what will happen is when you come out to pick tomatoes, you'll reach in here and you'll find these big, beautiful, smooth, delicious tomatoes. And that's just the way it is. So for the most part, I come out here every day and look at these plants to just make sure they're laying and going the way I want them to. But as far as working on them, I don't do that. I just kind of leave them alone. And they're not a high maintenance plant. And remember, when you water them, you gotta let them dry out sometime. They're not a tropical plant. And when you water them deep, but don't get up around the roots. Let them roots reach towards the water, just like everything else. I mean, the stronger the root system, the better the plant. Whether it's a tree, vegetable, flower, you know. If you give them exactly what they want next to the trunk, next to the stem, there's no need to grow. But that's the way it is. So do yourself a favor. Do the work when you first plant your tomatoes, and then back off and let them grow. All right. If you like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll see you later.